KO Art of Sports are here with the one and only legendary Stitch Duran. We're here for Superfly 3, man. Just quickly, man, let's talk about this card. Just kind of Superfly weights in general getting a lot of attention. Obviously, Chocolatito was #1 pound for pound for a while. And now because of that, we know about Sering Vasai, we know about Gallo Estrado, kind of those guys. Just talk about kind of the development of those smaller guys, because those guys, Finito Lopez was a beast back in the day. A lot of people consider him the best fighter out of Mexico. You know what I mean? Sure. A lot of shine has been missing from these weight classes, I feel.
Yeah, well, you remember the days of Miguel Carvajal, you know, and he made some money, you know, first guy to make $1 million in this weight division, you know, so these guys are entitled to that. But that's the new trend right now is the tournament style type of fights, but it gives the fighter an incentive, man, to go out there and kick some ass, and you know, it's family and fame and all that, and I think it's a good concept.
Definitely, man, I'm with it. Let's get into obviously the biggest boxing match coming up in about a week. Yeah. Canelo versus Triple G2. I don't know, are you working either of those yet? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, you know, Tom Loeffler called me. I'm working with Gabe Flores the night before in Fresno. Young kid, young sensation from Stockton, California. Good kid. I grew up in the 209, so you know, I got to give back to these young guys. But it's a pleasure. And then, but Tom Loeffler called me, and he has a young kid from New York, and that's doing a 6-rounder. So yeah, so I'm booking it right back and go straight to the arena, man. And so it should be interesting.
So then we can't talk about the main event then, because you're not working either side on the main event, right?
No, but I could give you a scoop if you want.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Yeah. No, I don't want a scoop. Of course, I want a scoop.
All right. Well, you know, there was a big issue. Abe Sanchez had complained about the stacking of the wraps, right? Gauze tape, gauze tape, gauze. Well, I'll give you an answer, man. So I've wrapped more hands than probably anybody in the industry, man. Boxing, MMA, kickboxing. If they need their hands wrapped, I've done it, you know. And so I understand the game, and I've talked to doctors, and I've seen injuries. And look, man, here we go, Efron. You know, these, you know, you jack up your metacarpals, right? You know, and that's from hitting and, you know, doing this type of stuff. So to learn how to wrap hands, nobody would teach me. I'll tell you, when I started in the Bay Area, right? And I went to some fights, and I asked this guy that was a cut man, did a good job on a fighter, and I was learning to be a cut man. So I said, hey, man, you know, trying to learn to be a cut man. Can you tell me what you did? Can I say fuck?
Yeah.
Well, he says, he says, fuck you, man. He goes, I'm taking this to my grave, and you got to learn just like me, man. I felt about this big. So that just reinforced my job, because I started off in kickboxing, so I've got the martial arts mentality, and I said, man, I never want to be like this guy. So anyway, so I learned to wrap hands and became good at it. And see that little scar right there? It's a little white scar right there. I was at home. Did you get that, Efron? Yeah, my man, take two. So anyway, so what I would do is I would wrap my own hands and work on techniques, and then get on the bag and, you know, just keep them on for a while. And there were too tight one here or too loose, something like that, then I'd know how to make the adjustment. So I know how to wrap hands. And so anyway, getting back to the Canelo Triple G fight, Bob Bennett, the director of the Athletic Commission of Nevada, called me and said, Stitch, what do you think? You know, here's what's going on. And my job now at this stage of the game, brother, is to educate, you know, and because of...
You reached that level, man. You reached that level.
Well, I got to pass on. I don't want to be like this guy that says, you know, I'm taking this to my grave. I'm not.
Better people.
Well, you got to take care of the fighters. That's the only reason we're here, and it's a tough sport, what they do in all sports, right? So anyway, the question is, what do you think? That's what Bob, let's hook up, man. So he came down, and I wrapped his hands one way, the conventional way, and then I wrapped his hands stacking, gauze tape, and he didn't see that there was a difference. The argument was that it's like a cast. Well, that's a hell of a compliment, man, because I get told all the time my hand wraps are like a cast, and that's the conventional style. It's not how much gauze and tape you put, but how you apply the pressure and the technique and all that. That's where the art of wrapping a good hand comes in. So there's a lot of myths in our sport, and my job is to stop that shit, bro. You know. So the thing is, yeah, well, he's going to hit harder. Well, yeah, if he hits harder, that's because his confidence level has just gone up about 3 notches, right? Knowing that his hands are protected. But these are $1 million hands. So anyway, so I did that with Bob Bennett. The next day, he brought in a hand specialist, microsurgery specialist. Did the same thing to him. He wrapped his hands, and he didn't feel the difference. You know, there's not, in the name of the game of ours, it's when a fighter is at a disadvantage or you take that away from him, right? But, and the rules call, you put 1 inch of the tape from 1 inch away from the knuckles back, nothing in this part, right? So, however, my theory is however you wrap it, to the fighter's content, that's how you wrap it. As long as this remains the same as everybody else, right? And so I wrapped his, and there was no difference. So that helped solidify the process of this fight being done in Las Vegas.
Right.
Yeah. So here we go. You heard it, man.
So basically, kind of bottom line, in your opinion, you feel that the stacking doesn't add anything to it, doesn't do anything. It's fine.
Yeah, of course it is, man. You know, and the bottom line is, like I say, 1 inch away from the knuckles backwards. As long as everything remains the same, which is 100% cotton, the fighters will put padding, all right, and that's to protect the knuckles, and that's what the padding is for, just like the tape is here, right? The same theory, same principle, right? So as long as it's from here remains the same as Efren's and same as yours, let the games begin, right? But then there's a question here on the padding that nobody's ever brought up, but I'll bring it up to you, is there's guys like certain thickness of padding, small, you know, medium, large. But the guy that has a small padding, does that give him an unfair advantage? Question, huh?
I mean, it's kind of give or take, I guess, is fighter preference, because I also see like your knuckles are not as protected as well. So I mean, there's obviously kind of both, right?
And then that's my theory. That's my point exactly. You know, it's fighter's choice. Because I've wrapped a lot of hands, and some guys want a little bit, and I say, man, what are you, a carpenter? You know, what are you? You know, because some guys just have solid hands. You know, and so.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I like that little nugget right there. I appreciate that.
Little nugget.
Yeah, that was a big. Yeah.
So anyway, well, let me finish it up. So last week, you know, everybody knows Kevin Aioli, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kevin Aioli is. He called me and says, "Hey, Stitch, boom, 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 boom." And
I saw that on.
Let's sit down, brother. You know, come on. And you see what he said. The results were not the same. Well, you know, it feels a little bit more added here. Well, I could add more here. It's no problem.
It has nothing to do with
no, exactly. See, you said it all right there with the impact of the punch, except protecting the fighter's hands. The only reason. So
hey, I like that. I appreciate you, and it's a perspective I was definitely going to get into. So I thank you for talking about that. Yeah, because that was a big controversy going into that fight. Let's talk about another big fight.
And also, I mean, I'm not the only one that has stated that. You know, Don House works with the UFC, worked with Bermain and all that. He's wrapped a whole bunch of hands. Rudy Hernandez, we all know Rudy Hernandez, great trainer and definitely a super cut man. We know hands because we've done all the UFCs and combat sports and we wrap hands all the time. So we know. And in this game, like say, we have to be educated a lot, and everybody has to be on the same format because there's too many stupid rules out there, man. You know, too many.
And I think that there is something to having like a uniform kind of set of rules, one way or the other, whatever it is. But you know, just to have one, just so that everyone's kind of on the same playing field.